Time, the one resource we all share equally. Each of us gets 24 hours in a day, no more, no less. Yet, how we use those hours determines the course of our lives. Time is more valuable than money because money lost can be earned again. But time, once wasted, is gone forever. We waste time thinking, doubting, waiting, scrolling, gossiping, fearing, hesitating. And slowly, life slips by unnoticed. Your dreams are not waiting for you. They are fading every second you procrastinate. The harsh truth is, if you don't respect your time, no one else will. If you don't value your goals, no one else will build them for you. Every moment spent on distractions, drama, or excuses is a moment stolen from your growth. Stop waiting for the perfect time. It doesn't exist. The perfect time is the moment you take action. You don't need permission to chase your vision. You don't need ideal conditions to begin. You just need to decide that your time is worth more than your temporary comfort. Time doesn't stop when you feel lazy. It doesn't wait while you recover from failure. It keeps ticking. And so must you. Every great achiever, every success story you admire, made the same choice. They stopped wasting time and started doing. You were not born to scroll endlessly, to bing mediocrity, or to drown in distractions. You were born to create, build, love, serve, rise. And that takes effort, focus, and relentless urgency. Stop treating time like it's infinite. Start treating your life like it matters. Because it does. Every day you wake up is a gift. Don't return it unopened. Time is the most valuable asset any of us will ever possess. It's the foundation upon which every goal, every dream, and every transformation is built. Unlike money, property, or possessions, time is a resource that cannot be replenished, borrowed, or bought back. Once a second passes, it is gone forever. And yet, despite its irreplaceable value, it is often the most carelessly spent. People save money, invest in assets, and protect their belongings, but they rarely guard their time with the same intensity. This is a dangerous oversight because time, not wealth, not luck, not intelligence, is the true currency of life. Every great achievement, every strong relationship, every skill mastered, is a product of how time was spent. And every regret, every missed opportunity, every unrealized potential is also tied to time that was wasted. You may recover from a financial loss or rebuild after a failure, but you will never retrieve the hours lost in hesitation, in meaningless distractions, in passive living. When you begin to treat time as sacred, when you understand that each minute is an opportunity to move closer to the life you want, your mindset shifts. You no longer tolerate unnecessary delays. You stop giving away your attention to things that don't serve your purpose. You begin to live deliberately. You become aware that your life is not measured by the years you live, but by the quality of time you invest in becoming more, doing more, and living with purpose. Each person on this planet, regardless of their background, upbringing, location, or status, is given the exact same 24 hours in a day. It is the one universal truth that binds us all together. No one has more time than another. Yet, the results we see in our lives are vastly different. Not because of luck or privilege alone, but because of how those 24 hours are used. Some people wake up with purpose, attack their day with discipline, and focus their energy on activities that bring growth and progress. Others drift through the day passively, reacting instead of acting, allowing distractions to dominate their attention and postponing the tasks that matter most. The real difference between successful individuals and those who feel stuck isn't access to resources, it's the decision to value and maximize time. While one person may spend hours reading, learning, building, exercising, or planning their future, another may spend that same time scrolling aimlessly, gossiping, procrastinating, or living in regret over yesterday. The contrast in their outcomes becomes glaringly evident over time. Success isn't about working 20 hours a day. It's about working with clarity and purpose during the hours you do have. It's about choosing wisely, saying no to things that drain you, and saying yes to things that build you. There is no mystery in discipline. It's a choice repeated daily. You either master your time or become a slave to it. The moment you accept that everyone has the same hours, and the only variable is your choices, you gain control. You stop blaming your situation and start building within your limits. You understand that you don't need more time. You need better use of time. You need intention. You need awareness. And above all, you need to stop wasting what you already have in abundance the present moment. Every person alive today, whether they are a billionaire entrepreneur, a world-class athlete, a student, a factory worker, or someone unemployed, is granted the exact same amount of time in a single day, 24 hours. It doesn't matter how rich or poor, educated or uneducated, privileged or disadvantaged someone is. Time does not discriminate. It is the one resource that is perfectly equal in distribution, but vastly different in application. And this difference in how individuals use their time is often what separates the successful from the average, the fulfilled from the frustrated, and the focused from the distracted. When you look closely at those who achieve great things, it's not that they have more hours in a day. They simply have more clarity and more discipline. They choose to guard their time like a precious treasure. They avoid wasting it on trivial matters or pointless distractions. They prioritize what truly matters. They understand that every hour spent on meaningless activity is an hour stolen from their goals. While others sleep in, they rise early. While others complain, they strategize. While others scroll through feeds or binge entertainment, they build, learn, and improve. Their life becomes a reflection of intentional living. Time doesn't reward those who have good intentions. It rewards those who take consistent, focused action. Wasting time isn't just about doing nothing. It's also about doing the wrong things with your energy. It's spending hours being busy but not productive. It's saying yes to things that don't serve your growth. It's letting the day pass without directing it with purpose. Most people say they want success, happiness, and fulfillment, but very few are willing to examine how they spend their hours. They believe success is about working hard, but often overlook the importance of working smart, making every moment count, cutting out the unnecessary, and structuring their time in a way that fuels progress. You can't expect extraordinary results with ordinary time habits. Until you respect your time and protect it from waste, you will remain stuck in cycles of frustration, wondering why others move ahead while you stay behind, even though you had the same 24 hours. Procrastination is one of the most dangerous habits a person can develop because it silently kills dreams without making a sound. It feels harmless in the moment. Just 5 more minutes of rest, 1 more episode, a quick scroll through social media, a task delayed until tomorrow. But over time, those small delays compound into a life full of missed chances and unrealized goals. Unlike failure, which teaches us lessons and builds resilience, procrastination steals our potential without giving us anything in return. It creates a false sense of comfort and safety, convincing us that we have more time, that the right moment is coming, and that we can start later. But later becomes never. Every great idea that's never executed, every crowd ever will, every goal that's always in the works, and every talent that's left undeveloped is the result of procrastination. People don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they don't begin. And the most tragic part is that procrastination often disguises itself as logic. We tell ourselves we're waiting for more information, more confidence, better timing, or a clearer path. But in reality, we're just avoiding the discomfort of starting. Action feels hard. Uncertainty feels scary. But in waiting for everything to be perfect, we lose the most valuable thing we have: time. Success doesn't require perfection, it requires movement. Every day you delay is a day further from the life you want. Procrastination builds walls between you and your goals, not out of brick and mortar, but out of excuses and fear. And while you hesitate, the world moves on. Opportunities pass, people grow, ideas fade. You may not notice it day by day, but one day you'll look back and see a trail of things you could have done, should have done, but didn't. That realization is painful, not because you didn't have the ability, but because you let procrastination win. You don't need to know every step. You just need to take the first one. Momentum is born in action, not in planning. The sooner you start, the sooner you learn, adjust, and grow. Procrastination robs you of all of that. It delays not only results, but your own evolution as a person. The longer you wait, the more you weaken the muscle of discipline, and the harder it becomes to break the cycle. Procrastination doesn't just delay your goals, it delays your entire life. Distractions are not just harmless breaks in your focus. They are subtle thieves that steal your time, drain your energy, and rob you of momentum. In today's world, distractions are more accessible and more addictive than ever before. With one tap, one click, one swipe, you can lose minutes, hours, even entire days. Social media, mindless scrolling, endless notifications, gossip, drama, and entertainment have become the new normal, and they're expertly designed to capture your attention and keep it. But the real cost isn't the few moments you spend on them. It's the consistent detachment from your goals, your purpose, and your growth. The danger of distractions lies in how deceptively innocent they feel. You tell yourself it's just a quick break, just a few minutes of rest, just one more video. But before you know it, you've spiraled into a loop of wasted time and lost productivity. The mind, once pulled away, takes time to refocus. Every time you allow a distraction in, you reset your mental progress, dilute your discipline, and teach your brain that it's okay to abandon your goals for temporary stimulation. Distractions don't always appear as obvious villains. Sometimes, they wear the mask of urgent but unimportant tasks. Things that keep you busy but not productive. Checking emails repeatedly, organizing your workspace endlessly, or engaging in constant small talk can make you feel like you're doing something. But in reality, they pull you away from the deeper, more meaningful work that actually matters. Over time, these distractions accumulate into hours of lost potential. The more you give in to distractions, the more difficult it becomes to focus deeply. Your attention span shrinks, your ability to engage with difficult tasks weakens, and your overall output suffers. Eventually, you might begin to feel frustrated, scattered, and unaccomplished, not because you lack skill or ambition, but because you've let distractions direct your day. Your mind is your most powerful tool, but it needs clarity to operate at its peak. Constant interruption muddies that clarity. When you remove distractions and reclaim your attention, you unlock a level of focus that allows you to move faster, go deeper, and create better results. In a world that profits from your attention, learning to protect it is not just wise, it's necessary for anyone who wants to stop wasting time and start living with purpose. Fear and hesitation are two of the most deceptive enemies of progress because they often operate silently under the surface, pretending to be logical caution or careful planning. In truth, they are master time wasters, causing you to overthink, second guess, and delay action. While fear can sometimes protect you in dangerous situations, most of the fear people face daily isn't life-threatening. It's emotional. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough, fear of making mistakes, or even fear of success. These fears cause you to hesitate, to pause just long enough for opportunity to pass you by. Hesitation might seem like a small pause, but in reality, it creates distance between where you are and where you want to be. Every time you hesitate, you give your mind a chance to talk you out of something potentially life-changing. You start convincing yourself that you're not ready, but a crowd ever will, that conditions aren't right, that you need more time, more skill, or more confidence. But confidence doesn't come before action. It's built through action. Waiting to feel ready is a trap. The truth is, no one ever feels fully ready when stepping into the unknown. Growth comes from movement, not from standing still. Fear-based hesitation kills progress before it can even begin. It prevents you from starting the project, applying for the job, speaking your mind, or chasing the goal. You end up living more in your head than in the real world. You rehearse possibilities, play out worst-case scenarios, and imagine rejection, all while time slips by and nothing changes. And the more you hesitate, the more you train your mind to delay decisions. It becomes a habit, and soon you're stuck in a loop of overthinking and underdoing. The problem with fear and hesitation is not just that they delay your dreams, but that they subtly reinforce a belief that you're not capable. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to break free from that mental pattern. You start shrinking your goals to fit your comfort zone instead of expanding your courage to match your vision. Fear will always be there, but your job is not to eliminate it. Your job is to move forward in spite of it. Action is the antidote to fear. Every time you take a step, no matter how small, you weaken fear's grip on your life. And in this way, hesitation becomes the silent killer of potential. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you were too afraid to try. No one is going to build your dream for you. That responsibility belongs to you alone. It's easy to fall into the trap of waiting. Waiting for someone to notice your talent. Waiting for a perfect mentor. Waiting for encouragement. Or waiting for a helping hand to guide you forward. But the hard truth is that the world doesn't owe you anything. Your goals, your ambitions, and your vision are yours to nurture, shape, and bring to life. If you don't take full ownership of them, they will remain ideas. Nothing more than thoughts in your head that never made into reality. People may support you, advise you, or inspire you, but no one can live your life for you. No one will show up every day and do the hard, consistent work it takes to achieve your vision. That burden and that privilege lie with you. If you wait for someone to motivate you, push you, or believe in you before you act, you'll always be dependent. And dependence is a dangerous place to operate from, because it puts your future in someone else's hands. Real empowerment comes when you understand that everything you want begins with you. Building your dream takes effort, sacrifice, and a relentless commitment to progress, especially when no one is watching. There will be days when no one claps for you, when no one understands your vision, and when even those closest to you may doubt your path. But in those moments, your belief in your purpose has to be stronger than the silence around you. You must be willing to keep building, brick by brick, without applause, without immediate results, and without external validation. Every excuse that starts with, "If only someone would help Meg," or "I could do it if someone gave me a chance," becomes a delay tactic. It shifts the power away from you and hands it to others. But you don't need someone to give you permission to pursue your dreams. You need to decide that your dream is worth fighting for, even if no one else sees it yet. The truth is, most people are too busy building their own lives to build yours. And that's okay, because it's not their job. It's yours. When you begin to act from that mindset, you stop blaming circumstances and start creating outcomes. You stop waiting and start moving. You become the architect, the builder, and the protector of your future. You don't need perfect conditions to begin. That's one of the biggest lies people tell themselves to justify an action. They wait for the stars to align, for circumstances to improve, for more money and knowledge, more clarity. And in doing so, they postpone their dreams indefinitely. But the reality is, perfect conditions are a myth. They don't exist. Life is messy, unpredictable, and often inconvenient. If you're always waiting for the right time, you'll be waiting forever. Progress doesn't happen when everything is ideal. It happens when you move forward despite imperfections. Ever will. The people who achieve great things aren't the ones who had everything figured out from the start. They are the ones who dared to begin while everything was still uncertain. They took the first step with shaky hands, limited resources, and incomplete plans. And in doing so, they gained something far more valuable than waiting ever could: momentum. Starting is powerful. It breaks the paralysis of overthinking and shifts your minds from passive to proactive. Once you start, you can adjust, adapt, and grow. But if you never begin, there's nothing to improve upon, only potential wasted. You don't need a perfect business plan to start your side hustle. You don't need all the answers to begin studying something new. You don't need the best equipment, the most experience, or even full confidence. What you need is commitment. You need the courage to begin with you have, where you are, using the tools and skills already available to you. Some of the most successful ventures were born in garages, dorm rooms, or during difficult life moments. Not because the conditions were right, but because the person chose to take action anyway. Waiting for perfection often disguises fear. We use it as a way to delay, to protect ourselves from risk, failure, or discomfort. But in trying to protect ourselves, we limit ourselves. Growth requires movement, and movement requires you to be okay with starting small, starting messy, starting scared. It's in that imperfect action where strength is built, where clarity emerges, and where breakthroughs begin. The journey is never smooth from the outset, but it's only in starting that you give yourself a chance to succeed at all. Comfort is one of the most deceptive barriers to growth. It lulls you into routines that feel safe and familiar, convincing you that everything is fine, even when deep down you know you're capable of more. The truth is, most people don't waste time because they're lazy. They waste it because they choose comfort over challenge. They avoid discomfort, effort, and uncertainty because those things feel uncomfortable. But comfort, when chosen repeatedly, becomes a silent trap. It slowly locks you into a life of mediocrity where your potential is never fully realized. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. Nothing extraordinary is built from playing it safe. If you look at any high achiever, any person who has transformed their life or built something meaningful, you'll find a pattern. They consistently step into discomfort. They willingly put themselves in situations that force them to stretch, learn, struggle, and adapt. That's where growth happens, in the tension between what's familiar and what's possible. Every goal worth pursuing demands a price, and that price is almost always your comfort. Choosing comfort may give you temporary ease, but it robs you of long-term fulfillment. It keeps you stuck in repetitive cycles, waking up, doing the same easy things, avoiding anything that feels too hard, and then wondering why nothing changes. Comfort tells you to stay in bed a little longer, to start tomorrow, to lower your standards so you don't have to work so hard. It's the voice that justifies skipping the workout, postponing the project, or staying in a job you hate because change feels uncertain. The people who rise are the ones who are willing to be uncomfortable. They push through pain, face their fears, and act even when it's hard. They know that every breakthrough lives on the other side of resistance. They train their minds to do the uncomfortable things because they understand that the cost of comfort is stagnation. And the longer you stay comfortable, the harder it becomes to take action. Your mind gets used to the path of least resistance, and before you know it, years pass with little progress. You have to be honest with yourself. Are your days shaped by what's easiest, or by what brings you closer to your goals? The discomfort you avoid today becomes the regret you carry tomorrow. But when you embrace the discomfort, when you lean into the challenge instead of running from it, you begin to evolve. You start to take control of your time, your energy, and your results. The moments you feel uncomfortable are the moments you are truly alive, because those are the moments where growth is being forged. Your daily habits are the clearest reflection of how much you respect your time. They are the small, repeated choices that shape the direction of your life. Most people talk about goals, dreams, and ambitions, but if you look at how they spend their time on a daily basis, their habits often tell a very different story. It's not what you say you want that defines your future. It's what you do every single day, consistently. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They determine whether your time is being invested with purpose or quietly wasted in distraction and passivity. If you wake up late, immediately check your phone, skip planning your day, and move from task to task without focus, then you are handing your time over to chance. You're letting the day control you instead of taking control of it. On the other hand, when you wake up with a clear routine, when you guard your morning hours, set priorities, and commit to meaningful actions, you're telling the world and yourself that your time matters. These habits may seem small, but over days, weeks, and years, they compound into either success or regret. The key to transforming your life isn't found in big, dramatic changes. It's found in small, consistent habits that build momentum and direction. When you choose to read instead of scroll, plan instead of wander, execute instead of delay, you're placing value on your time. You're signaling to your brain that your goals are not optional. Your habits become the system through which your dreams are made real. Without the right habits, even the most ambitious goals remain distant wishes. The danger is that bad habits are easy. They're comfortable. They offer instant gratification and demand little effort. But they cost you far more than you realize. They cost you clarity, progress, energy, and often self-respect. Good habits, in contrast, may require effort at first. They demand discipline, consistency, and awareness. But over time, they become automatic, empowering you to do the right things without constant motivation. You cannot manage your time well if your habits are misaligned with your priorities. You can't expect meaningful results while clinging to habits that waste your most valuable hours. Every habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. So, take a close look at your routine, because it's not just a routine. It's your future being written one day at a time. Time waits for no one. Life moves forward with or without your participation. The clock doesn't pause when you're tired. It doesn't stop when you're confused, anxious, or uncertain about your next step. It doesn't slow down when you're grieving or when you're celebrating. It just keeps moving, indifferent to your emotions, your excuses, or your circumstances. Every second that passes is a moment of your life you'll never get back. And whether you choose to use that time wisely or waste it entirely, it keeps ticking on. That's the harsh, undeniable truth about time. It is relentlessly consistent, and it gives no second chances. You may think that taking a break from your goals, procrastinating on your decisions, or delaying your growth doesn't matter much today. But while you sit still, life doesn't. The world keeps evolving. People keep progressing. Opportunities come and go. And the person you could have become keeps slipping further away. Time won't wait for you to get motivated. It won't hold still until you feel ready. The longer you wait, the more you fall behind. Not just in results, but in the experience, wisdom, and personal evolution that comes from moving forward. Think about the countless hours people waste on things that have no value in the long term. Mindlessly scrolling through social media, binge watching shows they don't even care about, replaying past mistakes in their mind, or simply doing nothing while telling themselves they're resting. Meanwhile, their goals sit untouched. Their dreams collect dust. Their potential remains dormant. And before they realize it, days have turned into months and months into years. Life moved on, but they didn't. The people who seem to get ahead in life aren't necessarily smarter or more talented. Often, they're just more aware of the urgency of time that a crowd ever will. They understand that the clock is always running, and that every day they don't act is a day they don't get back. They treat their time like gold, protecting it, investing it, and refusing to waste it on things that don't serve their future. They know that success isn't about doing everything, but about doing the right things with consistency and focus. When you finally understand that time won't slow down for your fear, your doubts, or your indecision, you begin to shift your mindset. You realize that if you don't take control of your time, it will control you. And the cost of inaction becomes too heavy to ignore. Because the truth is, the life you want is moving away from you every second you wait. Time is not your enemy, but it will not be your friend unless you respect it, use it, and move with it. You were not born to just exist, to merely go through the motions, or to survive each day without purpose. You were born to live fully, to explore your potential, to grow into the person you're capable of becoming. Yet far too many people fall into the trap of existence without meaning. They wake up, go through their daily routines, complete tasks, and go to sleep, only to repeat the cycle again and again without ever asking themselves if they're truly living. This kind of life, one of mechanical repetition and passive participation, is not what we were meant for. You weren't created to drift aimlessly through time. You were made to thrive, to build, to impact, and to evolve. Existing means you're breathing, but living means you're becoming. Living is intentional. It's about setting goals, pursuing passions, facing fears, taking risks, and growing from every experience. It's about making the most of your time, your skills, your energy, and your heart. You're here to leave a mark, not just to pass time. But when you waste time on things that don't matter, shallow conversations, endless distractions, unimportant drama, you reduce yourself to a life that's far smaller than the one you're capable of living. Your existence has value, but that value is realized only when you step into the responsibility of living with purpose. That means deciding what you stand for, what kind of person you want to be, and what legacy you want to leave behind. It means asking deeper questions and seeking real answers, not just consuming noise from the world around you. It means challenging yourself, holding yourself accountable, and refusing to let days go by without progress. Existing is easy. It requires no courage, no urgency, and no real effort. A Crowley will, but truly living, that demands more. It requires you to wake up every day with the intention to grow, to serve, to learn, and to push your limits. It's not always comfortable. It's not always convenient. But it's always worth it. Because at the end of your life, you won't measure it by how many days you existed. You'll measure it by how fully you lived, how deeply you loved, how bravely you moved forward, and how well you used the time you were given. Live today like your future depends on it, because it absolutely does. Every decision you make, every hour you spend, every action you take is building the foundation of the life you're going to experience tomorrow, next month, and 10 years from now. Too often people underestimate the power of a single day. They think it's just one day, or it'll get serious tomorrow, and so they allow today to pass without purpose. But today is not just another day. It is an opportunity. It is a chance to change direction, to build momentum, to take one more step toward your goals. And when you waste it, you're not just losing time. You're shaping a weaker version of your future self. The truth is, your future isn't some distant, abstract concept. It's the direct result of how you show up in the present moment. Every healthy habit you follow today contributes to your well-being tomorrow. Every hour spent learning, building, or working towards something meaningful is an investment that compounds over time. Likewise, every minute lost to distractions, every promise you break to yourself, every time you say, "not now," is a withdrawal from your future's potential. You may not see the results immediately, but they're accumulating, whether for your benefit or your downfall. Imagine your life 5 years from now. Who do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to look back on in the mirror? That future version of you is counting on you to make strong choices now. You can't expect a powerful, successful, fulfilled life tomorrow if your actions today are weak, unfocused, or careless. There is no magic button that transforms your life overnight. The transformation comes from what you repeatedly do today. How disciplined you are, how committed you remain, and how fiercely you protect your time and energy from being wasted. When you treat today like it matters, like your entire future is being shaped by what you do now, your standards rise. You stop tolerating laziness. You stop delaying hard conversations, important decisions, or meaningful efforts. You become urgent, not frantic, focused, not overwhelmed. You realize that time is your greatest asset, and that wasting a day is never a neutral act. It's either bringing you closer to the life you want, or pulling you further away from it. The actions you take now echo forward, and the future version of you will either thank you for your discipline or suffer from your neglect. So now the choice is in your hands. Time is not the enemy. It is the mirror that reflects what you truly value. You can continue to let it slip away through excuses, distractions, and hesitation, or you can take ownership of every moment and begin shaping the life you were meant to live. Don't wait for the right moment. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for motivation to magically appear. The time is now. Use it. Honor it. Protect it. Because when you start valuing your time, you start valuing your life. And when you value your life, nothing becomes impossible.